guys, it's September 21st and we are back after Hanson tonight. We are on the last day of our cold front. The pressure is super high today at like 30.4, 30.5. So this will probably be our last run at him for a little bit anyway. Temperature's supposed to warm back up and the pressure's supposed to go back down, so this is definitely going to be our last sit for a while in here after him so we don't overpressure it. So hopefully tonight we can make something happen. It is Saturday, September the 26th, and we are in Maryland. Tonight we are in the blind sitting over a bean field that's actually turned brown. I've overseeded some big and beastie into it, and I have a scrape tree out there, and some new bucks are starting to show up on this farm. Starbucks is back, for the moment anyway, and tonight we're going to see what we can see. We can see a lot of this field. We may shoot a doe tonight, depending on what happens, so stick with us. It's pretty hot out, so it might be a slow night. Hey guys, would have loved to have done the post interview in the blind last night, but the field filled up pretty quick. We had a couple of does come out and a couple bucks too, and they milled around in front of the blind, so I ran out of camera light to do a post interview. But it was a promising night. We seen 20-25 deer, 4 bucks. So with this cold front moving in this week, we hopefully can get some intel where we can move in on a buck. And if not, we'll sit back and wait for our time, but it's looking pretty promising near the end of the week. So we'll see what happens.
What's going on, Rye Ludwig, Midwest Whitetail. We're out here. It is September 24th, I think. It's a Thursday, so we killed Teddy down here. This is pretty much the bedding area he was coming out of. A really good trail coming out here, and a really good trail coming out around there, where they just kind of feed up this ridge on the oaks and then back out to the beans. So what we're doing is we're taking the cameras that were on the beans since they're starting to turn yellow, and we're taking another camera and we're putting them down here to see where these bucks are coming out of this bedding area, getting set up for the rut and pre-rut, where we're going to get bucks that cruise this bottom all the way up towards this pond. There's doe bedding areas down here, so it's a really good cruising area, and that's what we're setting up for. If you can tell, there's a 4-wheeler path here from the landowner where he comes down through here. Our access is perfect. Just come in, check this camera real quick, and slip out undetected. So we're going to get this set up and hopefully have some trail camera pictures for you guys super soon. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have been in the situation where the neighbor has the cover, the neighbor has a food, and maybe you can't really do too much with the property you're with. Probably one of the most effective things I've personally ever done, and you guys will see it throughout the fall, is make a mock scrape line. So I can hunt this bottom. The neighbor's property is probably 50 yards that way. He has the thick cover that the bucks like to be in. So what I do is try to take advantage of that And when they come out to check these doe bedding areas, I put a scrape here. This is a mulberry tree. You can see from years past I've used the same branch. It's a great scrape, one of my top scrapes probably. And I just let it hang. That mulberry branch, for some reason they really like it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clear this out, and I'll take you guys throughout my scrape path. So I've got 3 scrapes within probably a 150 yard radius, and the bucks play this to a T. So we're going to really get some fun footage off of it this year. I'm really excited to share that with you. I think it's a great technique to pull bucks from your neighbor's property. Not just one mock scrape, but to work that scrape line. Kind of replicate what they naturally do instead of doing one scrape where you can just run a camera. You're using that to your advantage and hunting it as well. So we're going to get this cleared out real quick, and we're going to check the camera on the minerals we had and probably focus that camera a little bit different so it catches this scrape. And we'll run you up through the rest of our scrape line and kind of show you what we're working with. So this is kind of the second part of our scrape line. We normally put a scrape right here. The branch actually fell down, so we might have to move it a little bit, but there's limbs on this side and limbs on this side to hang out. One thing I've noticed sometimes when you do mock scrapes, bucks will get mad and they'll make a scrape right next to yours. So we used to run the camera right here and get close-up footage, and what I've learned a little bit is I have a fence post on the other side of this little opening. There's a hedgerow that comes up out of the bottom where we just were, which you can see down behind me. And what we'll do is we'll set that camera over there to catch all 3 of these spots these bucks will scrape, whether they're hitting my mock or they're hitting the ones on the end. We get all that footage, and plus you don't really have deer to get camera shy that way when you keep your cameras back a little bit. You don't get the up close footage, but if you identify your deer around, you can kind of get to know which ones are which. Sometimes new deer will pop up and you'll have other cameras they might get closer to, but these won't be the best for that. But it's great to kind of pattern your bucks. And again, that's the second part of the scrape line. Bottom to here, we have an oak little ridge up through here with a couple little doe bedding areas, and that's where our next scrape is. It patterns that deer movement all the way up, and we'll take you up in there and show you that one as well. So this is what we call hot sign. We got up in this little oak ridge between soybeans and the hayfield. It just holds deer like you wouldn't believe. Most of the time they actually bed out in beans, so I felt okay coming in. I'm walking up here and I find this scrape, and I mean, it's September 24th. I mean, we're supposed to see scrapes, but this is a good scrape that I like in the woods like this, high concentration of deer. This is our mock scrape from last year. So we've got our branches that are broke here, and all this ground is turned up here. So I'm not going to touch this, but I have a camera that's watching a path coming in and out of the bean field that I haven't checked this year yet, and I'm going to bring that camera down and set it off, probably back a little bit off this scrape. So we're going to see what happens. But this is the third of our mock scrape line. It brings deer. We have a stand in the bottom. We actually have a stand 15 yards right there. So this is what we like to see. This is a great rut area. That's what this stands for. So we're going to be real quiet in here, grab that camera, get it switched over, and hopefully have something to show you guys.
Well, hey guys, welcome to Midwest Whitetail, September 28th. And Kelly and I are pumped here. The season starts in New York in a couple days. So there's a few last minute things that we've got to do. And one of those is our clothing, scent control regimen for the season. We take our scent control pretty seriously, and we like to put the least amount of pressure on our properties because those mature bucks, they don't take it. So to start, what we do, I've got a big locker here, and we dump all our clothes out of it. And a couple days prior to washing our hunting clothes, we'll wash our regular clothes, like a couple loads of towels and bed sheets and just regular clothes in a scent-free detergent to clean out that washer. And same goes with the dryer. We'll move it right under the dryer and we'll clean that out with a scent-free dryer sheet. Then we'll put our clothes in there with scent-free detergent, and some clothes, depending on the garment, I'll hang it, some I'll put in the dryer, and then they go right back into my locker here until I'm ready to hunt. So when I'm ready to hunt, I'll put my clothes in a tote, in a Rubbermaid tote. Usually I sprinkle a little activated carbon in the bottom of it, just so it absorbs any bit of that scent that may be in there. And then going in the back of the truck, and then I get dressed at my hunting location. So as far as the gear goes, we like to wipe it down every time we go out. If we're handling it, like a camera arm, the ozonics, the bow even, any tree stand straps that we have, Your backpack is a big one. We like to dump that out periodically. And I've got like a water, just put it in a tote, mix some water and some activated carbon together, and I dunk the backpack in that and I let it hang and dry. And the idea behind that is, any moisture that, or any scent that we generate, hopefully that activated carbon will be embedded in the backpack and absorb any of that scent. And as far as our boots go, we try to keep them dry as possible. Early season is tough because you're sweating in it a lot. So we take our liners out, wash those periodically, put in boot dryers, and spray down the outside anywhere we're touching with our hands every time we go to the field. So that's a little bit about our scent control regimen. And then obviously the ozonics, we're playing the wind still. And then when we get in the stand, our ozonics is basically, the icing on top, just to eliminate anything else that we may have generated while walking in. And that's worked out pretty well. So that's our scent control regimen. And if there's a few tips there for you if you want to use them. But as far as the deer we're hunting go, we have a couple deer up on the hill property. I don't recognize them. One's like a clean 8 and one's a 9. He's a 5 on his right, 4 on his left. And I don't have any pictures of deer that I recognize. And generally, I'm not too worried about it. And I'm not. They start to filter in through October. So I'm sure I'll pick up some more bucks. That property up there does need to take some does off it, so we'll probably focus on that early season. Over on the land property, we've got a really nice 8 over there. Kelly be willing to put her tag on that. And again, there's some deer that I know made it from last year that haven't shown up yet. So it's just a matter of time. So we're just gonna be patient. We've got other properties to do some doe management on, like down in the valley. We've got tons of does down there. They're always killing our food plots. So if we wanna go for a nice doe, relaxing doe hunt, go down there. But there is a nice buck down there. I'm pretty sure I velvet filmed him in the summer. And I think I got a picture of him the 22nd, so last week. So he may show up, and that was in daylight. I haven't had the camera out for too long, but we'll see if he shows up. I think we're leaning towards going down there opening day and hopefully shooting 1, maybe 2 does. Kelly's up to bat. And there are a few other properties that we hunt. We'll probably be saving those to the rut. They generally get better during the rut. So that's our plans going forward. Stay tuned. We'll be in the tree before you know it. And thanks for watching Midwest Whitetail.